Well, Raoul Raparl is the head of economic research from Open Europe, and he joins us. Raoul, welcome.
Good afternoon.
No big surprise that a grand coalition looks set to be formed now?
No big surprises that the coalition has come to fruition, more or less, and in the document, really, no particular surprise either. It does have Merkel's fingerprints all over it, as we heard in that short clip. No new debt, no particular new spending above what's already arranged, and very much the same path for the eurozone. Some small bits of cash in exchange for significant structural reform, and really stuff that's legally enforceable and democratically enforceable.
It's Merkel's third term as Chancellor. I mean, are there any changes?
Well, I think there are a few. You can see that the SPD has won a few concessions. I mean, they have the minimum wage, which is fairly high by European standards. They have secured some changes to the pension system in terms of retirement age. Some commitment to spending, I think it's 23 billion on new measures. So it's a few things here and there, and she has given up a few ministries, although that's not formalised yet. So a few changes, but it's very much Merkel dominated, as German politics has been for some time.
Yeah.
Well, as you say, Raoul, it seemed to me that her clip actually gives the game away. She says it's going to be national governments are going to look after their debt. There's not going to be a eurozone all-encompassing debt resolution mechanism or backup. It's going to have to be national governments sorted out first. But nevertheless, the euro is here to stay. There's no intention of backing down on the euro and the euro. So you get the two things: a euro based on national governments, which is where it's supposed to be all the time. We're back to that story again.
Yeah, very much so. I think it's going to be a continuation of the ad hoc, step-by-step measures that we've seen throughout the crisis. I think she has always had this vision. I mean, a lot of people accuse Merkel of not having a vision for Europe, but she very much does. And as you say, it's one of national governments, and maybe that doesn't fit with what a lot of people in the markets or investors would like to see in terms of a centralised backstop. But it will go on this step-by-step. I think, as she says, the funds are going to be national, and that gives the game away in terms of the decision-making. She'll never transfer the decision-making to the Commission or to any central authority as long as the funds are national, and she can do that either under German law. So I think it's very much working within the political and legal constraints that we've seen from Germany throughout the crisis, and I think that's going to be here to stay for the next few years. So it'll be interesting to see how the markets react once they digest that. Although there's initial relief at the deal, I think it may fall short of really what they want in terms of this banking union.
The other irony, I think, was that 23 billion is going to be put in and not going to be covered by tax. So in fact, the surplus that probably Germany would have had on the budget in 2014 is now going to be spent under the agreement. So they'll be probably the only spending government in the eurozone, having been criticised by the US Treasury of being nothing more than an austerity operation and blocking everybody else from growing.
But we're continuing to support a strong Europe or strengthening EU.
Yes, indeed. And also spending at home for the first time, which we haven't really seen, or it's been criticised for not doing up to now. So it may not be very much, but it's 1% of GDP, nevertheless.
No, that's true. And I think the minimum wage could help as well. If that actually has the impact, we could see a bit of boost in domestic demand, which is, like you say, what the US and what a lot of periphery countries have been calling for. So maybe they will eventually get that. I mean, I'm personally hedged for a demand boost that can give to these southern countries. I mean, the imports in Germany from these countries are minimal at the moment, but there will be some rebalancing. Maybe the German economy will be a bit more domestic focused. That's the hope, but
more German tourists to Greece, maybe.
On the margin, I think a bit more domestic focus, but no change to the overall setup of the German economy or their political approach.
Raoul, thank you very much. Raoul Raparl, head of economic research for Open Europe.